I'm going to look at something in this tutorial that, well, to be honest, you might never use. Or, if you are like me, when you are building up a music video project, then it might be something that you use quite considerably, i.e., you'll be able to use this particular technique very frequently and it will save you some time. I'm talking about nesting a project, or project nesting as this tutorial is called. Now let me just explain what project nesting is. Think of one project as your tree, and this tree contains quite a number of different files, be them audio or video, and this project supports with its branches, shall we call them, this project supports another project, a second project, and the second project becomes embedded like a nest within a tree, becomes embedded within our first project. Okay, now that actually sounds much more complicated than it is, so let me talk you through the process. As you can probably see at the moment, I've got a brand new empty project. I've not saved it yet, it's still called Untitled, and within my project media I've got all my video files. And if I flick back over to my Explorer panel, then you'll see the exact same video files there. All I've done is I've brought them all into my project. This isn't completely necessary. With the two projects that we are going to create, and we'll call them VTC Nest 1 and VTC Nest 2, with each individual project, you only really need to bring in the video files, in our case, using video files, you only really need to bring in those video files that you are using within your project. Anyway, that said, I have brought them all into my project. I just wanted to clarify that you don't need to. Right, let me move back over to my project media panel. Okay, so as I say, these are all my video files. I'm not going to use them all. I'm just going to use a couple of them. And I'm going to use them in my VTC Nest 1 project. At the moment, we haven't got a project called that, so let's do something about it. I'll come down here and click on my Save button, and I'll give this a name. VTC Nest 1, and I'll hit save. Right then, let's populate this project. I'll grab the first 3 video files there, left click and drag them down onto my timeline. Right then, now you might or you might not see this particular dialog box. Now this is just information asking me, do I want to set up my project with its video settings so that they match these videos? Well, I may as well, so I'll click on yes. Okay, and as we would expect, we now see our 3 video files brought in on our timeline. Okay, and if I zoom in, then we'll see all 3. I might need to horizontally scroll across, but there you go. Those are my 3 files. And because I've brought these 3 files in after I've saved my project, I'll hit save once more. Okay, now I could carry on building up this project, this VTC Nest 1 project, to be as complex as I need. However, just for illustration purposes, I'm going to leave it as it is, because what I want to do now is create a second project, and I'll call that one VTC Nest 2. So I'll close this one down, VTC Nest 1, I'll come up to File, and then roll down to Close. And once more, because we are starting from scratch effectively, I'm going to bring in all these different video files. Now remember, I don't need to bring them all in, I'm just doing it out of habit. So I'll have them all selected, and then I'll right click and roll down to my third option there, Add to Project Media List. And once more, by flicking back over to my project media panel, then there we go. As expected, all these video files have been brought in, ready for me to use them, whether it's all of them or some of them, within this new project, the one I'm going to be calling VTC Nest 2. So that's my next step. I'll grab some of these video files, I'll go for these bottom 3, left click and drag down onto my timeline. Once again, I'll confirm I want my project to match my videos, and there we go, we get those 3 files brought in. Right, it's still called Untitled at the moment, so I need to click on the Save button here, and to differentiate it from the first project, named as VTC Nest 1, well, I'm going to call this one VTC Nest 2, as I said a few moments ago. And I'll hit save. Right, that's the process of building 2 separate projects. Now what we want to be able to do is have one project, VTC Nest 1, as being our main project, the tree with its supporting branches, that carries the weight of the second project, VTC Nest 2, as the nested project. So let's come back up here to File and roll down to Close, and then I need to open up my first project. So I'll click on this button, the second one along there, so that I can navigate to the particular folder on my hard drive where I saved this Vegas Pro project, VTC Nest 1. Okay, there it is. So once I've found it, I'll select it and hit Open. Okay, easy enough and all fairly straightforward. there is our original project, VTC Nest 1 open. Now if I go to the end of it, although I could really embed or nest our second project wherever I want to, but for illustration purposes I'm going to come to here. I'll place my CTI there, and now so that I can nest my second project inside or within this first project, this is what we do. This time go back up to File and roll down there to where it says Import. Fly out to the right to that first option, Media, select it, and then once more navigate to the folder on your hard drive where you saved your second project. Okay, here it is. I'll select it and hit open. And well, we're nearly done. So far what we've done is we've brought in this VTC Nest 2 project as an asset, and there you can see it in my Project Media tab. What I need to be able to do is send this down onto my timeline. So I'll left click on it and drag and drop down onto my timeline just after my first project's files. Okay, and there we go. It's as simple as that. We've now brought in a different project with all the different settings that we might have made to that project, and however complex it might have been. Now I know we only had a project of 3 files, but you understand the principle. So now that second project, VTC Nest 2, has been opened inside VTC Nest 1.